you know I love Midas Touch, even though I enjoy disagreeing with them as much as I enjoy agreeing with them. But the way they summarize what's going on is so good that I love playing them for you, and I always recommend you have a look at them. Here's Midas Touch with good old Knock 'em Out Pete, a.k.a. Ben Meiselas, talking about Republican leaders, or I should say the MAGA wing of the Republican Party, the leadership going around and straight up threatening America over the weekend. Here they are.
I'm Ben Meiselas from the Midas Touch Network. Look, when the MAGA Republicans tell you who they are, listen to them. The MAGA Republicans went on all of the weekend shows and, again, revealed their cruelty, their fascism, their gaslighting, their disinformation here. This is the weakest Speaker of the House in American history, MAGA Republican Kevin McCarthy, telling Maria Bartiromo on the Fox Morning Show that the one thing he learned about the January 6th committee is that the January 6th committee was not honest. Play the clip.
Actually, real quick, there's also a question of honesty. You gave the tapes of January 6th to Tucker Carlson. Do you have any regrets about that? What have we learned from these tapes that have been on Tucker Carlson tonight?
Well, I didn't give the tapes. I allowed them to come see them, just like an exclusive with anybody else. My goal here is transparency, and we will slowly roll out to every individual news agency. They can come see the tapes as well. The first thing I found is that the January 6th committee was not honest with us, that it's not 14,000 hours of tapes. There's 41,000 hours of tapes. Let everyone see.
Just got to refute that on the off chance that anybody suspects this person might be speaking honestly at any point ever. They didn't say there were 14,000 hours of total tapes. The January 6th committee gave the American public the credit, which they should have, for understanding that there was a whole lot of tape that was filming nothing. Because if you've got a camera here and you've got a camera here, and a crowd breaks in from here to here, you will be recording both things the entire time. Hence, while the crowd is breaking in here, there's no point in showing tape of an empty hallway here. Ridiculous.
Them to bring their own judgment. The one thing I understand in America, we should have equal justice. What really raises the point with me is, why did I watch federal courts? Why did I watch cities burn, federal agencies or something, and nobody arrested there? I think we should have equal justice across this country, and we should have transparency. And it's really concerning to me, since we've taken the majority, the things I have learned that government has done, that it withheld information from the American people. That will not happen on our watch. Regardless of what the information says or doesn't say, I think transparency is best, and allow the American public to see it all. And we need to have equal justice across this nation.
Yeah, I mean, at one point, we're watching them walk and being escorted by police within the Capitol, which was quite stunning. Speaker McCarthy, thanks very much for your leadership and for joining me today.
I mean, when you want to talk about not being honest, I mean, Kevin McCarthy is on tape right around January 6th repeatedly saying that what Donald Trump has done to our country is horrific, that he was going to tell Donald Trump that he needed to resign. We have Kevin McCarthy making a myriad of other statements.
When I heard this clip, the reason foremost that I wanted to share it was that right there. He brings it back to the absolutely fair point that in the days following January 6th, a whole lot of the people who are the strongest MAGA supporters right now, a whole lot of those folks, were talking about holding Trump legally accountable. Lindsey Graham, I will never forget saying, "That's it. Enough is enough. I'm out." He always seems to have more of his accent when he's speaking honestly. It's bizarre. It's like he forgets he's putting on a show for folks. The point is, all these folks believed there would be consequences for people that betrayed the country. They understood that what had just happened was unique and awful. But then what happened? Well, there were no consequences. The Department of Justice made it very clear that their primary interest was going after little fish. It wasn't until the January 6th committee, as in not the Department of Justice, but our representatives, yours and mine, the people we sent to Washington, took it seriously, that it got taken seriously, as far as we can tell. It was not until state-level prosecutors got on the ball that we saw any serious investigation into the people that arranged for January 6th to happen. And as a result, the politics around it shifted again. As a result, we had Kevin McCarthy making a trip down to Mar-a-Lago to make nice with Donald Trump. All the folks who were in bright red districts decided, I can get away with not being honest again, so I'm going to go right back to that. Our Department of Justice had an opportunity to put America back on track, and they failed. Now we are on the lookout to see if there is in fact any justice at all to be had. And it's sad that we are in such a place. But just remember, there was a moment in the country where this cult could have been taken care of, done away with like that. But we didn't take it. The Department of Justice just let it go.
In real time, but now he wants to lean into the ultra MAGA base, and this is who he is. Speaking of which, here is Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana, MAGA Republican, saying that, should we really be allowing people in their 20s to retire at the age of 62? Should we allow it? Play this clip.
I mean, the life expectancy of the average American right now is about 77 years old. For people who are in their 20s, their life expectancy will probably be 85 to 90. Does it really make sense to allow someone who's in their 20s today to retire at 62? Those are the kind of things that we should talk about.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it on that sourpuss right there because he deserves it. Just want to also draw some attention here. This technique is no different than the technique used in anti-trans legislation. It's no different than the technique used with draconian criminal justice laws, which aren't designed to make us safer. They're just designed to put more black people in prison. Making marijuana a Schedule I drug, for example. That was designed on its face to get Nixon's political enemies locked up. Why? Because the hippies love pot and black people love pot. This is no different. I know it sounds like a totally different policy they're talking about. Oh, Social Security. Let's make sure the young people don't get it at 62 or whatever the hell. Let's make sure that young people don't get a chance to retire when we want to retire. In other words, they're saying, don't fight us on this because we're not going after you, our voters. We know the young people don't vote for us, so we're just attacking young people. But they do this and they degrade those policies which people rely on. They make the country worse for other Americans. It's designed to section off parts of America and attack them. We cannot allow that to happen. If you are in the age group which they're saying is going to not have their Social Security touched, just understand, they will attack yours if they see the political opportunity. And one of the walls between them attacking your Social Security and not is young people getting the same deal you're getting. So if they can attack the young people's deal, well, maybe they'll go just a little bit older next time. Maybe let's say people who are 40 now in 5 years. Maybe they'll say people who are 50 now in 6 years. Maybe they'll say we need to just do away with Social Security and trust our companies, who we all know care about us. We need to trust our companies to provide our retirement. And then you're going to find across the board that you are fired 1 or 2 years before you would have been eligible for that private Social Security. And then they're going to say, oh, companies we can just trust to provide for us. We don't need to require that they provide retirement for their people. They're going to pay people so well as they're employed for them that people will be able to set aside money for their own retirement. It's the chain they're going to follow. Notice in all of this, this punk up here doesn't mention what the simple solution would be. Would fix funding Social Security overnight. Raise the cap. We don't tax a dollar over $160,000, I think it is. Raise the cap. How about this? We tax all income for Social Security, 100% of it. How would that make a difference in your life? In your life, it wouldn't. It wouldn't make any difference. Already, all of your income is taxed for Social Security. Unless you are a millionaire, that's the case. Raise the cap. Make rich people pay what they owe. Make them pay for the society they got to become rich in. That simple. This guy is not seriously talking about that because his interest is not in making Social Security better or more solvent or whatever for the American people. His interest is in getting rid of it. That's it.
Changes in Medicare we should talk about.
And this is the new talking point that MAGA...
Christ, he goes after Medicare as well. Exact same thing. He's trying to weaken it. We should be doing the opposite. As stated in our earlier stream, how do we transition from the society we're in now to the society we're going to be? We just expand those rights we already have. Expand Social Security, expand Medicare, so on and so forth.
Republicans have been...
I'm going to let Knock 'em Out Pete go for it.
Rolling out, raise the retirement age because they were exposed for wanting to cut Social Security. So now they're basically saying, well, let's just raise the retirement age. Let's see what we allow. Allow you to retire? Honestly, who the heck do Republicans think they are? That they own this country? That they could tell us when they will allow us to retire? Here is Congresswoman Nancy Mace. And here she says the same thing because the big platform for MAGA Republicans raised the retirement age. Play this.
Nancy effing Mace. Ooh.
Split.
I want to ask you about something your fellow South Carolinian Nikki Haley said. Obviously, she is running for president.
She says something here which depresses me, but I got to give her credit. You're going to see.
2024. She said this week that she supports raising the retirement age for people who are in their 20s when it comes to receiving Social Security benefits. Do you agree with her on that?
I think that's something that has to be on the table. We have to look at. I'm 45 years old. I'm assuming that Social Security will be in.
She's 11 years older than me. I look like I could be her grandfather, for Christ's sake. Money is a necessity in the USA. Good Lord. Woof, I'll take the L on that one.
That I won't have retirement funds from what I've put into in my adult life, my working life. We do have to look at Social Security. We've got to look at our spending in this country, mandatory and discretionary. If we're going to take on fixing the Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, you name it, we've got to get serious about it.
Okay, so
she says we got to get serious about it. She only recommends attacking it, though. She does not put forward the easiest solution. Let me just keep repeating this solution because it is easy. We could institute it immediately, and it would fix the problem completely. Raise the cap. Raise the cap on taxing it. We have a needless cap. We're saying right now, the people who make the least amount of money in our country must fund it entirely. That's ridiculous. We should start all taxing. All taxing should begin with the rich and work its way down to everybody else. That is how it should work. You should not be paying taxes for anything that a rich person doesn't pay more taxes for. That should be how it works.
You do.
Now, we're still sticking with this. Your old pal Jake's fired up. Back in the 50s, 90% of the wealth generated at the top bracket. So as in when you go from, let's say, making, I'm going to use arbitrary numbers here. You go from making $900,000 a year to $1 million a year. Once you're at $1 million, every dollar made after that point was taxed 90%. 90% of it gone. That's going back to the government. Why? Because we knew, in the 50s we knew this, you've already made more money than everybody else. You made more money than you need. Yeah, you still get 10 cents of every dollar. Okay, you get a little something. But 90% of your income, gonzo, after that point. Again, all your income up to that point, taxed like everybody else. We need to return to those days. It's a real quick fix for a lot of our problems. F you, Nancy Mace, by the way.
Support potentially raising the age to maybe extend the
as long as it's not anybody that's heading into retirement right now. We do not want to take away
voters.
Those that are in retirement or those that are heading into retirement. But if we're talking about younger generations, my kids, for example, if they know what the retirement will look like 40 years from now, 50 years from now, then that should be on the table and can be. We have to. Both Republicans and Democrats have screwed
Nope, just Republicans.
this thing up, and
I take it back. There's been corporate Dems that have as well. All right, withdrawing Nancy Mace. By the way, F her. She knows very well her kids are going to be rich because she's rich. She's going to hand them down well more than they need.
they've got to fix it.
Okay, you said it.
Also on the Sunday morning shows, one of the talking points by MAGA Republicans that they're going in is they're saying that the reason that Silicon Valley Bank failed is because it was woke.
I want you to be able to appreciate what this guy is complaining about before he says it. There was a reporting requirement that this guy wanted, not this guy, the person that's going to be on screen in a moment, wanted to get rid of, which simply allowed, didn't insist upon, but allowed reporting for the environmental impact of I think a bank's activity, whatever, of a business's activity. He wants to get rid of that, so they are not allowed, not permitted, to inform their investors of the environmental impact. That's the world this guy wants.
It was too woke of a bank. It was wokeified. I mean, that's really what they're going with. We'll talk about the real reason in a second, but that's where they're going. It's too woke. This is the chairman of the Oversight Committee in Congress. I said the chairman of the Oversight Committee, James Comer. Listen to what he had to say. Play this clip.
And then we see now coming out that they were one of the most woke banks in their quest for the ESG type policy and investing. This could be a trend, and there are consequences for bad Democrat policy. And I think we need to keep an eye on all the banking sector right now.
Well,
Okay, it's not that the bank is too woke and that it has diversity and inclusion initiatives. By the way, Fox has diversity and inclusion initiatives. It failed because Donald Trump rolled back the Dodd-Frank regulations that would have allowed for a stress test to identify the issue. When Donald Trump bragged about rolling back all the regulations on community and regional banks and how that was going to be great for the economy, when it absolutely wasn't. And these regulations were put in place following the previous financial disaster to stop things like this. And the first thing,
just to sum up what he's saying real quick before we move on. Dodd-Frank came about as a result of the 2008 financial crash. There is a movie I highly recommend you watch. It is called The Big Short. It is a lot of fun. Is it I don't know, the best overall for story? Probably not. They went very avant-garde with a lot of it, and it comes off like in some places like a PowerPoint presentation. But it's still fascinating to watch because it happened. The ridiculousness of it all. It happened. The insanity that went on with our richest Americans 100% occurred, and we are watching now the rollbacks of within this short amount of time. Ryan Gosling is just as hot now as he was when that movie was filmed, and already we're seeing the rollback of regulations such as Dodd-Frank, which were designed to prevent that catastrophe from happening again. And guess what? Well, houses are getting super expensive again, aren't they? A lot of folks say they can't afford them, can't they? Don't they? Guess what's going to happen again? By the way, at the end of that movie, they make a point of saying that Michael Burry, person who called this before everybody else, he's now investing in privately owned water. Oh no, that's not what we want. There we go. All right, this one, folks, is a pretty easy layup. Even though I've played things in a bizarre order. Yeah. Vote in primaries. There's all kinds of there's all kinds of individual issues there. I just want you to get a sense of what MAGA folks are going to do when allowed to. They're going to try to screw us over on the margins. Everything we don't pay close attention to, they're going to try to wiggle in and get after. If you're sick of watching every single move that these people do, if you find it exhausting, me too, man. Me too. But there's a pretty simple fix for it. Get them the hell out of office. Vote in primaries, as we have seen time and time again. Go as left as you can. It's a good idea, especially in bright red areas. Because a lot of these red areas are now so populist that they've accidentally created an environment where a lefty on the far left, speaking honestly to them about populist issues, has a better chance of getting elected than a centrist. Because the centrists will try to appeal to them on all of the things that they hate about the GOP. They'll try to appeal to them by looking like, oh, I'm a regular GOP candidate. I'm just with the Democrats. Wink, wink. That's not going to appeal. What will appeal is populist policies. That's the left. And incidentally, if you want good policies, that's the left as well. Vote in primaries. Go as left as you can. Throw all these other bums out of office. I don't care if they got an R or a D by their name. If they are not strong supporters of Social Security, Medicare, and most importantly, taxing the rich, they got to go.